the first mention that I have found of hydrogen being potentially therapeutic was by an Italian medical doctor in 1793, and he wrote about how hydrogen inhalation of 3 parts hydrogen and 4 parts the oxygen. Yeah, I forget what he said, but it had this an inflammatory type effect in the lungs. It was just a small blurb in a very old book that I came across. It was very interesting. But then the next study was probably in 1975, and it was done as using a hyperbaric hydrogen chamber, and it was done by Texas A&M and Baylor University, and they published it actually in Science, which is one of the top peer-reviewed journals there are. And they used a transplant of melanoma tumors and found that this hyperbaric hydrogen treatment was effective at regressing the melanoma tumors. But they use like 8 atmospheres of pressure, so it's really not clinically feasible, and so not a lot of research came after that. But then there was the article published in 2007 in Nature Medicine, which is one of the top peer-reviewed medical journals, most respected, credible medical journals. And this is actually the article that I came across in 2009, which got my interest because it is a credible journal, and it was very interesting because it showed that inhalation of molecular hydrogen was effective at suppressing brain damage from basically cerebral infarction induced by a middle cerebral arterial occlusion. So they stopped the blood flow, and then that caused a lot of brain damage. But when you inhaled the hydrogen gas in this animal model, it was effective at suppressing brain damage. And that's really, when I came across that article, I was like, wow, this is very fascinating, very interesting. This is something that could be done for health, for anti-aging, for longevity, for who knows, because of course at that time there was hardly any research articles. And so I started scouring all the PubMed literature on all the scientific journals, and found some good journals in like APS and some other top peer-reviewed articles, and found, yeah, there is some good evidence on molecular hydrogen that really gives me a desire to want to study this more. And then finally I was able to go to Japan and study at Nagoya University for an internship where I could actually research the mechanism. As my background is biochemistry, so that's my primary interest is how does hydrogen gas actually have this therapeutic beneficial effect in the cell? How is it actually working? And there's been talk about how it acts as an antioxidant, like scavenging, directly reacting with hydroxyl radicals, which could happen in an in vitro setting, but probably does not happen in the body because you have a competition kinetics, because the reaction rate of hydrogen gas with hydroxyl radical it's a biomolecular reaction with a rate constant that's second order is 10 to the 7th moles per mole per second. Anyways, it's slow when you consider other radical reactions. And so really that's probably not what's going on, and we're just publishing a couple of papers on that. That's probably not what's going on. Some other things are happening instead. But the fact is hydrogen does still exert a prominent antioxidant type effect through its cell modulating activities. So these are the types of things that really gets me interested, because number one, it's in my area of passion of biochemistry. It's in my area of exercise and longevity and health and wellness, and it's something that's safe and something that appears to have such great benefit for all of humankind.